March Madness is what I'm talking about.
Say what from Columbus. Fuck is you talking about? Ohio, bitch!
Hello, hello. Core Dog Experience. Welcome back. 2026 is getting off to a bang. Spring football is around the corner. But before we get into all of that, please hit that like and subscribe button. Keep helping this brother grow this thing out. Yes, spring football around the corner. We getting ready. The recruits are getting in. They got their numbers, but we ain't talking about that today. Say spring football for another time. It's basketball. We talking basketball, folks. And March Madness in here, and both our teams are in the tournament. Both. When's the last time we've been able to say both our men's and women's team have made the NCAA March Madness tournament? It's been a while since we've been able to say both of them. Our women's team's been doing their part for the most part. Our men's team, they finally there. And I'm glad they finally got there. But 2022 was the last time both the men's teams and women's team has made the NCAA tournament. We are there. Good to see them both. And I'm especially proud for on the men's side because our boy Bruce Thornton finally gets to go dancing. He finally get to go dancing. So it's good to see him stick around because he could have left. He could imagine where Ohio State would be if Thornton had left at any time during his career. He could have easily have left when Chris Holtman got canned, but he stuck around. He stuck it out. Became the all-time leading scorer in Ohio State history, and it's just kudos to him for sticking around and going through the growing pains to finally be able to pay it off in his senior year and go dancing. May not last long, but at least he got there. At least he got there. They didn't get the most favorable bracket, but hey, they in the dance. He gets his opportunity to do something in the NCAA tournament. And for a while there, they were a bubble team for a good long time, especially after Iowa wiped the floor with them. Just like it was looking grim. It was looking grim for the men, to say the least. But they pulled it around, got on a little roll down the stretch, put up some big wins, some big quad one wins, knocking off Purdue in the process. Got to the tournament. I still think that win in the Big Ten tournament just solidified them getting there, and lo and behold, they went from a iffy bubble team all the way up to a number 8 seed. So good for them to be able to turn that around and gave Michigan everything they could handle in the Big Ten tournament. And I think that again helps solidify that number 8 seed. They put some work in. They put some Diebler put some work in. The guys put some work in, and they went from a bubble team all the way up to a number 8 seed. So kudos to them. As a result, they get TCU. I ain't gonna front. Don't know much about TCU. A lot of folks are even picking TCU to win, but those 8-9 seeds, those go in. That's normally a pick 'em. It's normally a pick 'em to begin with. And should Ohio State get past TCU, again, a lot of folks are picking TCU, but should the Buckeyes get past TCU, most likely they'll have Duke in round 2. Like I said, they got in, may not stay long, but you never know because this is a talented team. I think they're playing their best ball right now. And the NCAA tournament's dictated by guard play, and we got one of the best backcourts in my opinion, led of course by All-American honorable mention Bruce Thornton, sharp eye, dead eye shooter, and our boy Mobley, and then so guard play dictates a lot in the NCAA tournament, and we got a good backcourt, led again by Bruce Thornton. But the key, everyone says the backcourt, but the key to me is going to be the play of the big men. Tilly, Bynum. You got your, I ain't gonna even pronounce this name, but I do think we got Brandon Noel coming off the bench, and then our other big tall dude. I don't know. I can't pronounce it. Don't try those names. But we got height. We got some height in the low post as well to go with some of our guard play, and we got a chance to do something because I do think they're good. You got Devin Royal. I said Bynum, and to me, if you can get some point production off the bench from Taysom Chapman, who's really come on at the tail end of the year, I think Ohio State, they can do something. They can do something. If they get past TCU, they might be able to give Duke a run for their money. They might be able to give Duke a run for the money and send and we can see Bruce get a deep run here before he closes out his Ohio State career. So I'm just glad to see them dancing and to pay off Bruce Thornton's loyalty to Ohio State, and he stuck around, and all the accolades he has coming his way from this tournament and here in the future, because Ohio State gonna be honoring him for years to come, being an all-time scorer here. So again, just hats off to Thornton and him sticking around and being able to go dancing with the Buckeyes. And I'm glad to see it. Glad to see it. The women over the years have been consistently better than the men's teams. Have a lot more tournament resume going on for them than the men's teams. But again, like the men's team, they may not be around long and for different reasons. To me, the jury's sort of still out on Diebler and what he can do. I think he's if anything, he's earned himself a couple more years getting into the dance. But Kevin McGuff, unlike Diebler, who may not have had the most talented teams, Kevin McGuff, to me, he's had him some really good teams and don't really have that much to show for it, in my opinion. I think he squandered more talent here in Columbus than John Cooper almost. And I say it so. That's just how I see Kevin McGuff. They make the tournament. I think he's been here with close to 13, 14. They got in, 6 times or so. Again, given the talent level, I think that's underperforming even in that sense. And then when they get in there, despite the 1 year, was it a couple years ago, 2023, where they got all the way to the Elite Eight and they knocked off UConn in the process. Other than that, they're normally gone by round 2. I think he has a couple Sweet 16 appearances. I think. I mean, he couldn't get deep when Kelsey Mitchell was here. I mean, did Kelsey Mitchell ever get past the Sweet 16? I don't think so. I think they even had a second round exit while Kelsey was here. Arguably one of his better teams. And they got bounced by Central Michigan, of all teams. So just to me, Kevin McGuff, he's just wasted a lot of talent since he's been here in Columbus. Again, hosting games, losing games on your home court, games they shouldn't be losing. And they're going out as 3 and 4, 2 seeds. They can't get to the Sweet 16 a lot of times in these last couple years. And again, he's had him some really good teams. JC, I mean, he, like I said, the exception was the JC Selden team. They got to the Elite Eight because of Taylor Theory, Taylor Mixell, I mean, Cody McMahon. They had them some teams, and to me, very little to show for it. And we're going to see how they do this year. You got him a bona fide superstar in Jelani Cambridge and a bona fide defensive stopper in Kennedy Cambridge. He got a big Elsa Limala. She is playing. She's gotten. I mean, I watched a lot of the women's team. Said they're more fun to watch sometimes than the men's teams, and then our Ohio State men's team is. And the how Elsa Limala has improved from the beginning of this year to the end of this season. How she's playing has just been lights out. She's finally a true big in the center that can affect stuff. Something Kevin McGuff hasn't had in a while. He has a shooter in Chance Gray, so he has as a shooter now. He has his defensive stopper in Kennedy Cambridge, and just the chaos he can create with his style of play. Ava Watson comes in. She's a good disruptor, another good person who's capable of making the three. Bryn Martin, she comes in, she's capable of making the three. And Kylie Kitts, hopefully she is healthy, because when she's healthy, I think this team just rises up another level. That gives you a bona fide second big person. I think she's what, 6'4". Limela stands for 6'5", 6'6". So you got two bigs who can do some stuff. And again, this is a really, really good team. They should get past Howard. And then they'll be hosting Notre Dame by all accounts. I don't see Notre Dame losing their first round game. And you're going to have the matchup a lot of folks have been talking about throughout the year. What would happen if Hannah Hidalgo and Jelani Cambridge were on the court at the same time? We could potentially see that matchup in round two. And the Buckeyes would have the home court. But as we've seen in years past with Kevin McGuff having that home court, don't really mean all that much. That's why I wouldn't be surprised if Notre Dame, should it be Notre Dame, should Ohio State get past Howard. I don't want to take anything for granted, but I wouldn't be surprised if those two win their first round games if Notre Dame takes out Ohio State, because that's just been the norm for Kevin McGuff teams. That has just been the norm for the McGuff teams, and how they just go out early. A lot earlier than what is expected. So if they get past Notre Dame, they are in, of course, UConn's bracket, I believe. So it's going to be a tough uphill battle regardless. But you got to at least get out. You got to at least get to the Sweet 16. You got to at least get to the Sweet 16, Kevin McGuff. The team's too talented not to. You got have some great wins on the year. Knocked off TCU earlier. Knocked off West Virginia earlier. They knocked off some really good out-of-conference teams. The only game they are really outclassed in was the UConn game. That's when they were still trying to figure out who their talent was, what the roster was going to be. I think the roster solidified. They gave UCLA probably two of their toughest games in conference on the season. Notre Dame, UCLA, excuse me. UCLA, their toughest. Some of their tougher in-conference games this season, because UCLA pretty much beat everybody. And then in the Big Ten tournament, they gave UCLA their toughest game, because you see what UCLA did to Iowa. Just saying. So it's exciting to have both teams in there. Going to definitely be watching them again. Expecting both teams to do well, but won't be surprised if they don't, given past history from both squads. It's just good to see Ohio State still playing at this time of the year, particularly on the men's side, instead of being in the big dance instead of the NIT. Nothing against the NIT, but come on, we all want to dance in the big dance. And I'm just interested to see what Kevin McGuff is going to do with the roster, because he can recruit. That's something he's always been able to do. I just question some of his coaching stuff in the tournament, because he doesn't have a good track record in the tournament. And we do have Katie Smith on the bench. I'm just saying. You have someone like that on the bench, he should be looking over his shoulder. Katie Smith's one of my all-time favorite Buckeyes, period. Men, women, cross sports. Katie Smith, one of my favorites. She's on the bench. So we'll see how it goes. But March Madness is here. The games will be starting in a couple of days for our Buckeyes, both on the men's side and the ladies' side. And hopefully they can do some damage here. I think both teams have the talent to go deep. At least the Sweet 16. I think, again, Ohio State, should they get past TCU, I think they could give Duke a little tussle. Where Ohio State, the men's team, they always seem to falter down the stretch. That's what gets them. And then our women's, lately, they've gotten big leads and seem to blow big leads. So hopefully they can learn how to close out some games on both sides, and we'll see how that goes, and get March Madness, get ready to go, and by the time it wraps up, if they make deep enough runs, we'll be able to get more into the spring game. But right now it's March Madness. Go Buckeyes. And before I just had to throw this out there. If y'all ain't got this shirt talking about the spring game and some football, this is the thing of legends. You got to get you this shirt. You got that's just legendary. That is just, I might have a show just on this alone and how Brutus was able to pull that off. But until next time, OHIO, go Bucks. I'm out. March Madness, y'all.